leaf started coming out, this leaf right here has looked like so much worse, and I think it honestly is just because she's putting all of her effort into this. So we have a new queen leaf. This is actually the first leaf that she's ever put out on her own. It is currently sitting in cocoa peat, and just to help like regrow the root system, because I did take it out of the pot and the root system just wasn't that impressive, if I'm honest. So I felt like the soil just wasn't good for it. So I put it in this cocoa peat for a time. And since I did that, it started putting out this. So I feel like I did the right thing in doing that. And I will eventually put it in actual like nutrient rich soil, but probably not until I see some roots maybe poking out the bottom or just some more significant growth. These are my little anthurium seedlings that I grew from seed. Obviously they're doing great. They're pretty stable in this little terracotta pot. I showed them in my October favorites video, so no updates since then, but they are looking very cute. This gorgeous lady put out this tiny cute leaf. This is actually the offshoot. So the baby put out a baby leaf. The leaves hopefully will start to get bigger and bigger. And like I said before, I think I am going to want to separate this from the mother plant and grow it on its own. Hopefully one day the leaves will be like around this size. We will just have to see, but this one just put out this new leaf. You can see it's like a nice little coppery color. My forgetii is putting out a new leaf, which I'm stoked about. This was the most recent leaf that it put off, and it had older leaves, but I kind of just took them off because they weren't looking very good. And when I did that, we were blessed with this one. So I'm really excited to see how big this new leaf gets and how happy it'll be. I'm just excited to have it be more than like a one leaf legend. So that'll be really fun. This plant here that was gifted to me by Jeff, the owner of Vintage Hill, this is the ID on it. It's looking really good. Like it's acclimating super well. This little spike here is actually going to put out a new leaf, which is super exciting. And let's see if I can look at the bottom here. No roots at the bottom yet, I don't think. Yeah, no roots at the bottom. But once I see that, I'll probably give it some nutrient-rich soil. But until then, it's gonna just like hang out in here. I think we're zoomed in. My mamii is doing something exciting. We've got a new leaf here. It is actually almost too big for the cabinet, so I'm either gonna have to rearrange pretty quickly or move it out of the cabinet entirely. This is one of my philodendron that did pretty well in lower humidity at my old place, so I feel like it'll be fine if I put it maybe in the sunroom or something. The sunroom definitely has higher humidity than my old house for sure, so if it could live in the ambient humidity of my old house, it will be totally fine in the sunroom. I just wanted to have like maximum humidity in here for it so that it could recover well. And if you're new to this saga, this plant actually suffered from root rot right before I moved a year ago, and it's taken a year to get to this point. It was a wet stick, and very, very exciting, and she's so beautiful, and I'm really happy that I took the time. This disgusting leaf keeps getting in the background. I was gonna say, I'm really happy that I took the time to rehab the plant, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have this right now, and it is one of my favorite plants ever, so love her. Okay, really exciting. I finally potted up this beautiful Hoya obovata splash from Adam, and I put it in this desert pot to remind me of my desert friend and just where this plant came from in general, and it is putting out a new leaf. I am so excited to see what sort of splashy this leaf will have, and it rooted really, really well in spag, and now it's clearly doing great in this soil. This is a De La Tanks. Most everything in here is potted in De La Tanks or just straight up cocoa peat, and everything is really happy with that, so I'm super stoked about that. My anthurium that I've recently repotted, like this one, and I think that's it. Oh, and this one, I added in a little bit of cocoa peat in there to help maintain a little bit more moisture, because I think that the De La Tanks was just a bit too loose for it. I don't really know exactly what was going on, but ever since I changed the soil mix just a little bit, they seem to be a lot happier. So if you are wanting to add more like moisture retention to your De La Tank soil, I would suggest adding cocoa peat, just like this. Back here, this is my variegated Epiprimnum pinnatum, and when I got it, it did have a little growth spike, and that growth spike has turned into a leaf that is trying to come out. Let me go on the other side to show you. Okay, can you see it better now? It doesn't look variegated actually, which like I hope that it does end up being variegated we'll just have to see. But once this one gets a little bit more developed, I'm going to put it in nutrient soil. Right now it's in cocoa peat. If you can see that, it's a little dark. And I will be putting that into Dela tanks when it's ready and putting it probably on a plank of wood in a greenhouse so that it can grow really big. And then back here, I have this like hyper humidity dome, and there's really not much to speak of in here, but these are just some plants that really needed some rehab, slash plants that I thought might have been going downhill and I was worried about them. So we have my Anthurium Ace of Spades in there, which you know, if you follow me, this plant has been on a journey, and yeah, it's been on a journey. We'll just leave it at that. This is a Philodendron Glorious, and it wasn't looking amazing. Like, these leaves feel super thin and unhappy, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna make it. I hope it does. So I have it in this like hyper humid dome, and then I just have some Melanochrysum propagations over there, if you can see that. Sorry, not the greatest filming, but this is not like the most exciting part, but I just have it in this like super humid area because I was having issues with the greenhouse being probably about this, like on a regular basis, until I fixed the issues with the seals, and now it's doing a lot better. Okay, so let's check in down here, and then that'll probably be all for this video. The Alocasia Maharani has seen better days, you know? She is trying to pull through whatever she's going through. This leaf seems to be hanging on pretty well. Who knows if it will stick around? I honestly don't know. And then I have some Hoya propagating. It needs some water. And then listen to this. Hold on, I need to turn off my dehumidifier. That is so loud. Okay. Look at this beautiful leaf. This is none other than the Anthurium regale, which is possibly my favorite Anthurium, but also possibly the most annoying Anthurium ever. So I've had a lot of issues with this plant basically from day one. If you weren't here for that time period of my life, basically I ordered this from a Facebook seller and it arrived. It was beautiful. It had like, I think 2 or 3 leaves. And I left for the weekend and it got thirsty and then everything shriveled up and died, and then we were left with a stump. Thankfully, I, talked with some people and I learned that it will grow from a stump. It will be fine. So I just completely like deadheaded it, and then it did end up putting out a new leaf, which was really, really beautiful. But it didn't do anything for like a year after that, and it just slowly withered away. And finally, I just cut off the leaf again. You can see this is like actually very freshly cut off. I deadheaded it again, and then it put out this leaf after I put it in one of those humidity bags, like those ones up there. So yeah, it finally put out a new leaf. I think that this plant just needs an extreme amount of humidity. Truly, I mean, I think everything in this cabinet needs a lot of humidity, but for some reason, this Anthurium is such a diva, beyond diva. It is the most diva plant I have ever had in my life, and there's been so many times where I want to throw it away and just be done with it, and then it does this, and it is so gorgeous, and then I change my mind, and I'm like, okay, fine, you can stay. Like, this leaf is perfect, beyond perfect, so I hope that this will be like a turning point for the plant, and with my more consistent watering and thoughtfulness with the plant, it will be better. We will see. I mean, I'm still learning Anthurium. Like, I'm not here saying that I know everything about Anthurium. Clearly, like, I have a lot to learn. They are very rewarding when they do what you want. Or when you finally understand them and are able to do what they want. How about that? My Anthurium clarinervium is doing great. This new leaf that came out never like flattened out. I don't really know why, but it seems really healthy and feels really soft and nice. And this new leaf came out really beautiful. It's just facing backwards, and I don't know why, but it is going to be putting out a new leaf soon. It's been blooming a ton, which is great, but also kind of annoying because I want leaves, because clearly like this leaf is on its way out. It's got some yellow on the edges, and so is this one. But I think they'll have at least another couple of months in them before they leave, but I would like to have at least one more to replace this one. That one will probably go first. So anyway, since it's been in the cabinet, it has seriously had a big turnaround. This plant was not looking good for a very long time. But it takes up a lot of space in here, but honestly, I think it's worth it because it is one of my favorite plants, especially this leaf. This leaf is like the most iconic leaf, but it faces backwards. So maybe I need to turn the plant or something, but yeah. And then, oh, my Burley Marks Fantasy. See, this is another amazing